Friends, hello, it's Madame Fromage. I'm welcoming you into the kitchen to learn about provolone today from Italy. If you're used to buying American deli counter slices of provolone, today is all about maybe going on a new exploration. I encourage you to head to a cheese shop and look up because provolone is often hanging from the ceiling. It cures much like a salami. So it's hung from a rope, was traditionally slung over the rafters, and then aged for sometimes up to 2 to 3 years. So this is what provolone looks like, and you're going to see a little bit of that shape in the curvature here of this wedge. Perhaps you can also see there are a few little eyes and some fine cracks. That's totally normal. The reason that there are those hairline fractures is because provolone is what's known as a pasta filata cheese. It's pulled, the curds are pulled or stretched to make this sort of thready cheese that is then formed into, in the case of provolone, a pear shape, a long tube that's hung, or even in the shape of a bell. Mozzarella is also a pasta filata cheese, and in fact provolone is a cousin to mozzarella. It's pretty much the same cheese, but then it's brined and often dipped in wax and then dried to age so that more flavors develop. I think of provolone as the punching bag of cheese in some ways, because literally it does hang like a punching bag from the ceiling, but also it has a punchiness, which some people call sharpness, but it definitely makes you feel like you've taken one to the mouth, especially when you've eaten one that's 2 to 3 years old. So just a couple things to know when you go to the store. If you want a very mild provolone, look for one that's 2 to 3 months old. This is often referred to as a dolce or sweet provolone, and I mean sweet as in milky sweet. If you want to up the ante a little bit, you're going to ask for provolone picante, as it's called, your aged provolone. This might be 1 to 2 years old, and usually there's sweetness on the front end and then a little spike towards the end. If you really want to go for it, ask for extra aged provolone, which would be Stravecchio. It's usually right around 3 years. Provolone has an enzyme that's added to it called lipase that gives it that punchy attitude. I always feel like it makes this cheese taste a little bit like beef broth and vinegar potato chips. There's a saltiness to it, there's an acidic quality, especially on the finish, and it means that you can pair this cheese with other sharp things, which is why I have some olives here, some briny olives, some pickled peppers, and then I have some Tiroli crackers, which I just love. These are these Italian crackers, they have fennel seeds in them. And I've made an Aperol Spritz, a traditional Italian drink that you might have on a piazza at 4 o'clock in the afternoon with a little bit of nosh. So provolone, when you smell it, you're going to notice that it smells like opening a bag of salt and vinegar potato chips. Very sweet on the front end. What I love about it, it's a little bit granular, but it's soft. It just coats the mouth in this sweet, soft quality. And then about 3/4 of the way through the bite, the punch kicks in. Start to lose a little feeling on the top of the tongue. Get that bright acidity, but then it tapers off. I encourage you to play around with provolone this summer, especially if you're on the patio or you're sitting on your stoop. You want to try something a little bit new and different, and not just melt provolone on a sandwich, but to use it to entertain and sustain. I find that on a really hot day, a cheese like this, because it's meaty and salty, cures my hunger in late afternoon or in the evenings. And so instead of eating a big supper, I'll put out a plate like this, some grilled vegetables or a salad, and it's just a delicious way to end the day. Friends, Madame Fromage signing off with this little moment. Provolone together. I want to thank I Love Imported Cheese for sponsoring this series. If you're going to Italy this summer, look for provolone. You'll see it everywhere. Also on the island of Sicily, wonderful provolones. If you're staying home, enjoy some wherever you are. Cheers.